Good morning. How are you? Did you have a good weekend? I did. Very peaceful. And now I'm about to have my first cup of tea. I already had my coffee. And now it is tea time. If you don't know me, hi, hello, my name is Mayya, and I am your host of Motivation and Muscles with Mayya Ting. For this mindful segment, 5 mindful minutes, right? I wanted to talk to you guys about what is the apprehension with following Christ. What's the apprehension? Why don't we just get on board? Why are we not all in? Why do we do what we're supposed to do on Sundays, but Mondays we back to being just everything we've been delivered from? I know I'm not talking about just me. We all are guilty of that, right? Let me go get my tea bags. What is it from your perspective? Are we just enthralled with our sin that we don't want to change? That could be it. Is it that we will mourn the loss of who we once was, although we know that that person ain't about the right, but we're going to miss that person? In other words, still loving our sin? Is it too hard to follow Jesus because we love our sin so much? Or is it that we know that if we jump all in, that we're going to change? We're not going to be the same person anymore. And that can be scary. And I am not asking because I have all the answers. I'm asking to get your perspective because I get it. It's just certain things I ain't ready to give up, right? I need ginger. I've been adding this in my tea, just a capful, and ginger juice. I've been lazy with juicing my fresh ginger, so instead I've been using this. But for real, y'all, what is it? Or do we feel like if we come to God, like, how can he use us? How can he use me? Like, shoot, all the dirt that I've done, all the things that I've said, how I've done people, how people have done me, and how I've responded to that. What can God do with me? And why would he even want anything to do with me? And I think these thoughts, these intrusive thoughts, prohibit us from our greatness. And I think it's just what the enemy wants us to do and think and believe and to adopt about ourselves. And it's truly false. And yeah, we might have done some stupid stuff. We've done dirt. No one hasn't, right? But we can all be used in a good way. And we need not to be embarrassed of our past. And what I mean by past is I don't mean 4 or 5 years ago or 4 or 5 decades ago. I mean 4 or 5 minutes ago. Hello. And I am a living witness how God can turn something so messy into something pretty cool. And how he will use something so messy for his glory and his good. I'm a living witness to it. I know yesterday at church we were learning about this guy named Zacchaeus. I always get the pronunciation of his name. But he was the chief publican. And what that means is in those days, he was responsible for collecting taxes from the people. And it wasn't like how we can just kind of upload our payment to the IRS today. It's not like that. It was like he was coming knocking on your door and he was asking for the money. But if the government was asking for 5%, he was really asking for 8% because he was taking the 3% and he was pocketing it. And everybody in the town knew that he was a criminal, he was a crook. But they had to pay him or what? Go to jail or be put to death? I don't know how the system worked back then, but there would be consequences. So although he was robbing them blind for an additional 3% more than asking, they gave, right? But they didn't fool with him. When it was Thanksgiving, they wasn't saying, Zacchaeus, come to our house for Thanksgiving. They wasn't saying that. They was looking at him like. So. But one day he heard about a man named Jesus and he wanted to meet him. And the thing about this guy, Zacchaeus, not only did he have a status problem because of who he was and what he did for a living and how he was a cheater and a thief, he was also small in stature. So when Jesus was walking through the town and people from all over he was in the press is what they were saying. You know, people were trying to move forward almost like at a concert to see this man named Jesus. And Zacchaeus couldn't because he was small in stature. So he climbed a tree. And as Jesus was walking through, he looked up and locked eyes with this man. And right then and there on the tree, Zacchaeus was saved. And he became a follower of Jesus. He even said, I will give back what I've stolen. After that, it didn't even matter. Jesus didn't care about what he did for a living. Jesus didn't care how he was stealing from people. He didn't care. It's like, you know, when you come to Jesus, you know how you're supposed to make it right. And it doesn't matter what your background is, what you do for a living, or what you've done 5 seconds ago. Jesus forgives. He's not like people where I'ma hold in my brain what you did to me in 1975. That's me. Jesus doesn't do that. Why wouldn't we want to follow a man like that? He uses the most unlikeliness of people. Unlikeliness of people. People that we would never think. It's not the rich or the famous, although he can use the rich and the famous. But we don't have to big ourselves up to come to Jesus. He wants us worn down and tattered so he can work in us and through us from the inside out. So you can be a blessing to someone else. So let's think about that for a second. That was 5 minutes. You are the one that Jesus is looking for. It's a duality. We are seeking, and he is looking for us. And not because he can't find us. He knows exactly where we are. But just know he's always pursuing us, thinking about us, wanting us. And more than just wanting us, he wants our heart. And once he gets a hold onto your heart, that's when the magic happens. So yeah. So let's remember to be kind to others and to be kind to ourselves. That's the biggest thing. Being kind to ourselves. We're so brutal. And before we open up our mouths or think thoughts, let's ask ourselves really quick, would Jesus sign off on that before we make moves? That's my accountability. So, it's Monday. We do have our exercises later. We're up to a rep count of 30. I did not go to the gym today. I was sore because I ran and speed walked all weekend. I did a total of 9 miles over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I think I'm gonna just go to the gym on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays because going to the gym on Mondays after all, But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do these little bit of dishes and finish up some work that I've already started. And I love you so, so much. And I need to go ahead and check my subscriber count because when I get to 300, I'm doing a $50 Cash App giveaway. So you stay tuned for that. And yeah, I love you so, so much. And there's just nothing you can do about it. Nope. I'll see you a little bit later, right?